Hello everyone. Today we are going to do a quick demo to show how easy it is to send private transactions using Besu and Orion. And to do that, we are going to get started by getting our network up and running. So what I will do is I'll share my screen and then we'll get started. Okay, so while this is getting up and running in the background, I'll talk about the architecture and what we're going to do in our demo today. So at the heart of it, we are going to deploy a simple IBFD network, which has 4 validators, the boot node and these 3 validators here, an extra RPC node, which we use to query things on the network, the block explorer, which shows the progress of the network, how far the blocks are, and so on, and which connects to the RPC and makes calls to it to get its stats up and running. We've also got a monitoring setup of Prometheus and a custom Grafana dashboard so we can keep track of the nodes to make sure they're all in sync and the chain head's progressing. And the last most important piece is we've got 3 Besu nodes, each paired with 3 Orion nodes. Now, one thing to note is that because I'm doing this locally via Docker Compose, I have exposed ports 20,000 to 20,005. If you're running this setup locally, please make sure that you've got these ports open. So you may need to do this via IP tables or via firewall rules or something like that. But keep them open at least momentarily so that when you run the transactions, they actually get through the network and they don't stall. Okay, so we'll just jump to the network and we see how things are going there. Okay, it looks like things are getting started. So I'll give this a few more seconds to get up and running. And I'll talk about what we're actually doing in our transactions and demo there. So the bulk of what you're seeing today is based on this tutorial here, the multi-node example in the Web3.js client library. So what we'll do is we'll send a contract to the network, we'll deploy it there. And then we will send a private transaction from node 1 to 2, and then from node 2 to 1. And then we will query all 3 nodes over here to see whether they've got the transaction. And what we should observe is that only nodes 1 and 2 report back on the status of the transaction because they were involved in it. And node 3 doesn't see both the transactions because it wasn't involved in those. Okay, so, okay, that looks good. Everything's humming along nicely. So what we'll do is we'll jump into the Web3.js code. So where we're at is the example multi-node example code. Now we've told it that the config is this, which is basically the 3 Besu nodes on the various ports and private keys over there. These are the 3 Orion nodes and the public keys, so it knows who to contact. This is the contract that we're going to be deploying, which is a very simple contract. It has 1 data field, a to and from, and a private key from the person that's sending it. The contract itself is very simple. It's just an address and a value that it stores. The event emitted a contract. For those of you that are interested, this is found in Solidity event emitter. And so we'll start by deploying the contract itself, and then grabbing the address of the transaction. Sorry, the address of the contract. Then we will send a transaction from 1 to 2. And what we see here is the transaction has gone from 1 to 2, and both have records of the transaction. So I'll quickly jump in there. So what we've done is we've sent value 1000, which translates to 3E8 in hex, going from 1 to 2, and then read back all 3 values from the 3 nodes. So the node 1 reports 3E8, node 2 reports 3E8, and node 3 has no knowledge of this, and so it says nothing. And then if we do the same thing going from node 2 to 1, we should see the exact same thing happening. Yep, so we see the value 2A, different value used over there. And again, node 3 has no knowledge of what's happened because it wasn't involved in the transaction. So that's how simple it is essentially to get transactions going by Besu and Orion. That is the end of our demo today. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.